You want me to take it? Okay. So I mean, I think, Cheryl, what's a failure that you're proud of? So what I mean is like, what's a failure that you're like, I'm glad it happened. It really sucked, but I'm glad it happened.
It really
You don't have to go super personal, but like, like just thinking about it,
I've had a couple that have really like, I think the biggest one professionally was my first practice. I tried to buy I didn't know at the time because I didn't have enough, I didn't know what I didn't know. But at the time when I graduated from chiropractic school in Atlanta, I bought a failing practice. I didn't know it was failing. I didn't understand the numbers. I didn't understand M&A. I didn't understand purchasing a practice. I didn't understand business in general. That's not what we were taught in school. We were taught how to be really great doctors. And I got into this mess, and it was awful. I was sleeping at the office literally just because in case a patient came walking by, I could like steal them, pull them in, and try to adjust them. I didn't want to leave the office because I wanted it to be successful so badly. And it didn't matter what I did, what kind of marketing I did. I stayed up all night and day trying to do anything that I possibly could to make it successful. I just didn't have the skill set. I just simply didn't. And I thought that I could just will it to work. I could just, if I wanted it enough, if I manifested in the universe enough, that I could will this thing to be successful. And that just wasn't the case. I ended up having to shut it down. I sold a part of the equipment. I was able to bring some of the equipment back home, and I hightailed it back to Michigan. I failed miserably my first practice, but I learned a ton. I learned so much about business, about myself, about my resiliency, and what did I really want, and how was I going to do it better next time. And my next practice it flourished. It was I went and I found the skill sets. I found mentors who had the skill sets, and I learned from them. And I learned the things that were problems before. And I was able to take those lessons and implement them in my next practice. And wow, night and day. Yes, I still manifested and I still wished and hoped that I worked my tail off, but at least I had a skill set to say, this is going to work because I know for sure if I do this, this, and this, it's worked for other people. So my first practice was a hot mess. It was awful. And I'm so thankful to my mom and my dad who supported me, and they were just like, keep going, honey, keep going. And they would, throw me some money for food. And they welcomed me back home with open arms to come back to Michigan. And we talked a little bit about that support and that embrace of the people around you. And I'm thankful that I had friends and family that supported me, and that it basically was a crash and burn. But I learned a ton. I learned so much. And then I've been able to turn around and help small businesses and medium-sized businesses be highly successful because of my failures. I wouldn't have learned those lessons had I just been successful right off the bat. I wouldn't have probably given it the scrutiny that we talked about earlier of, oh yeah, I won, so I don't have to like look at why I won. I looked at why did I fail and what can I do better next time, and learning those lessons and continuing to grow that skill set has given me an opportunity to be super successful in corporate, because they don't teach that stuff in corporate either. And then be able to help a lot of small businesses thrive because I had the skill set. I knew I could see their problem from a mile away. When I first got into my first practice, I didn't see it a mile away. I was stepping right in it. So yeah, I think that was probably, as far as like business wise, that was that big, like, ooh, I failed big time, and it hurt and it sucked, and it was financially devastating and emotionally devastating. And you go to school forever and ever and ever to be a doctor, and then you're a failure. That doesn't feel good. So kind of a long answer, but yeah, that first go round was tough.